Are you looking to increase your sales and boost your selling abilities to the max? Welcome to the Continuous Sales Improvement Podcast with best-selling author Eric Lofholm. Eric has trained over 10,000 students, and they have generated over $500 million in sales increases over the last 20 years. One thing he understands is that being a lifelong learner is key to your sales success. Every week, Eric Lofholm interviews elite sales and business professionals and discovers what helps make them the legends they are today.
Hi, this is Eric Lofholm, and I want to welcome you to the Continuous Sales Improvement Podcast. I've got another fantastic guest lined up today. Today's guest is Rosalind Henderson. She's the owner of Leadership Keys Unlimited. She is a sales trainer and mindset coach for the last 13 years. She's worked with such organizations as Chick-fil-A, UPS, Xavier University as well. Now Rosalind brings her phenomenal training and experience to business owners who are sales resistant and/or who desire to upgrade their skills and mindset to regularly hit their income goals. When Rosalind isn't working, you'll find her on the floor with her grandson playing with Legos. Rosalind, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you, Eric, for having me. I appreciate it so much.
All right. Well, why don't we start off, Rosalind, with how did you get your start in sales?
Well, I got my start in sales probably by accident. For most of my career, I was a teacher. And as you know, I've been a teacher for 30 years. But I would say at year 20, there was a growing desire for me to go into business. I felt it was a calling to talk about leadership, mindset, sales, personal development. And I started following that pathway, slowly taking steps towards getting better, getting to be a better speaker, of learning and growing and being coached. But I never considered that sales would become a part of this business. So for the longest, I was probably doing ministry. Eric, to be very honest with you, because my sales skills were very paltry. I was nervous about it. There were so many mindset shifts that needed to happen. And I really realized at a point that I needed to flip the switch because my business was tanking, to be very honest with you, and that I needed some professional sales training. And I was able to get that, and it made such a big difference that there is a structure, there's a system to sales, and that we who are in business, that is the very foundation of your business, is to have your skills in place as it relates to sales and to always keep growing, because to be able to sell is financial empowerment.
Yes.
And that's what I realized. So this was a game changer for me once I realized I needed to make the shift and learn how to sell my services and myself, essentially.
Excellent. And what was it about sales that made it so difficult for you?
For me, it was, yes, attaining those skills. Skill set is one thing, but I also noticed that I was really having this major tug of war coming from teaching, doing a 9 to 5. I never had to stand up vulnerably. It felt very vulnerable to stand up and say, these are my wares. This is how much I'm going to charge. This is how it can help your life. Consider buying it. For me, that was a major mind shift. And also, I have had some dealings with past salespeople. I remember being sold a timeshare, not wanting a timeshare, but somehow the pressure of being
Right.
sold a timeshare. And they had levels of salespeople. One salesperson went off, then the second one would come and strong arm me. The second one left, and then the third one would come and strong arm me. And it left a very, very bad taste in my mouth about sales and who wanted to be associated with that. So much of what I had to do was to clear my mindset and know that I can be a salesperson who is offering transformation to a prospect. And when you start changing the language, as you definitely have taught, it changes your whole perspective. I'm offering, I'm sharing something that can revolutionize your life, make life better. And that just flows with how I think. And in
Yeah.
that way, you can be someone, I think, who has integrity and does what you say you're going to do, and know that strong arming is that's a big no-no. So
Yeah.
that's what my resistance was about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of business owners, they struggle with that because they didn't get into business to do selling, but then like you said, they got into business and, "Oh, now I need the sales skill," and yet they've had poor experiences in the past, and so that really makes a lot of sense. I get where it is that you're coming from. Why do you include an equal emphasis on mindset training and sales skills development in your program?
Well, I kind of alluded to it a minute ago. It is so critical that we work on our skill set. That is critical, without 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 question. And so always getting better, always understanding the nuances of sales, critical. However, what I have found is sometimes you can have all the tools, but there is an execution problem. There's an
Mhm.
execution problem because of this. There's an execution problem because sometimes we're chewing on negative thinking. And when we entertain, for instance, negative thinking, it's going to affect our emotions. For instance, if I'm chewing on fear, after a while, you're going to have that chemical release, that adrenaline is going to start dripping. And now you have this fight, flight, or freeze dynamic going on. And then it trickles into your attitude. And finally, it's going to taint your behavior. You're showing up irregularly now to generate leads. You're showing up irregularly now to run sales calls. And you know, Eric, that business is not about irregularity. That
Right.
we have to show up and be all in every day. And so I really do focus on those roadblocks, those mindset roadblocks. I call it mending your mindset. That's how I look at it.
Mhm.
So as you're learning the skills and as you're getting better with skills, you are also at the same time focused on mindset. And I give a lot of tools in my program, research based tools, to help people use these tools on their own to transform their thinking.
Fantastic. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. The mindset is really important. The how to is really important. But when you bring those two together, that's really, really powerful and creates the possibility of transformation. Let's shift gears now, Rosalind, and talk about what's the reasoning behind creating a tight knit sales community.
Whoa. Well, it has been underscored for me, especially during this pandemic. I already knew this concept, but it just underscored it all the more living through this pandemic, that we need to come together as a community if we're going to thrive. And I'm talking about all areas of life, but right now we're referring to business. Because in a community, we can definitely glom on to those who are a little stronger in the areas where we're weak, and vice versa. You get reality checks through community, fresh insights, you get strategy. We hold mock sales presentations. I cannot tell you the value of feedback. To be able to give someone feedback is to shave years off the learning curve for somebody. When I am down, sometimes I have gone to my group, my coaching group, and someone's enthusiastic. Well, I needed their enthusiasm. It became infectious for me so that I could be refueled and retooled to just take a few more steps. So, community to me is extremely vital when you're learning a new skill, and it's also very important for mindset. For example, we know through research that Weight Watchers, for instance, Why are they so successful? People tend to keep the pounds off when they come into community. Why? Because you have the resources, you're learning from each other, you're getting taught, you're being held accountable. You got to get on that scale and explain why you haven't lost that 5 pounds yet, and it's been 5 weeks. So, with research, even just emphasizes the need for community. We're more successful in community.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I know for me as a business owner, it can be lonely because there's certain things that I can't bring to my staff. If I'm feeling anxious, I don't want to show weakness to my team, but I also need people to communicate with around that. So having like-minded people, other business owners, having a leader like yourself, that really makes a lot of sense. Awesome.
Yes.
Next question, Rosalind. What are some of the most difficult areas in the sales process, and how do you help your clients triumph?
A lot of my clients tend to be women. Not that I don't service men, but they tend to be women. And I think that we have a particular psychology, definitely ways in which we've been raised, oftentimes impact how we show up as salespeople. And we grow out of that and we shift and we change, but we just need to be aware of this. For example, I have seen this as a theme that sometimes salespeople will personalize a no, and they'll personalize and somehow attach it to their worth.
Mm,
And we all know that's far from the truth, that sales is a number game, and it's just it's saying no to a service at this time sometimes. But when we're personalizing, we have to sometimes unpack that. What I have done for those who have a big issue with personalizing a no, I have given them accountability partners, for example. And the accountability partner is sort of there to help a salesperson who is just so tired of a no, they're close to just throwing in the towel. And I've given the instruction that before you run that next sales call, I want you to just talk beforehand with your accountability partner for 5 minutes. Just let it all out. I'm scared. I don't know about this. I think I'm a war. Just let it all out. But also, I want you to be open to receive from your accountability partner who's going to talk you up, and then go ahead and run that sales call. That person runs the sales call, and let's say that the prospect said no. Well, then another 5 minute call to your accountability partner. And again, let's unpack this. They said no. What are some of the reasons why you think they said no? And here's the key question that really it hits the sweet spot when you ask this question. When someone says to me, is it something about me? What is it about me that makes everybody say no? I I will always say, that's what you feel. Now, you've got to prove to me, come on, give me some evidence that it was something about you that resulted in a no from that prospect. They have to prove it to me.
mhm.
And oftentimes, when they start talking about it or writing about it, they oftentimes go, well, I don't really have any evidence to suggest that it was about me. And
Yep.
that's why I say they say, and once that begins to happen over and over again, Eric, you see people getting a little tougher, tough minded, being able to have a whole different attitude towards sales because it's not about you, it's a numbers game, and you're going to hit your yes eventually. And that's, for instance, one way that we work with clients. One more thing is that oftentimes I'm finding people having a hard time charging for their product for what it's worth. Sometimes you dig a little deeper and it does become a worth issue. The inability to give oneself permission to charge within a realistic price. So that's something that sometimes we unpack and we work on mindset to begin to shift that emotional charge and to shift that perspective so one can give themselves permission to make to make money, to make a living. And that's just as important as being able to transform someone's life.
Fantastic. Well, for all of you listening, I am the president of the Rosalind Henderson fan club. And I've had Rosalind train my community. Now, I've been teaching sales for a little over 20 years. And occasionally I will bring in elite trainers like Rosalind to train my community. And I've experienced firsthand the power that this woman has. And if you're listening to this right now, if you're a woman and you want to become more powerful and more successful in selling, you want to definitely reach out to Roz. I know she's going to have some kind of offer next step here that she'll make it at the end. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but whatever it is, take advantage of it. And that's true for the men too, but especially for the women. Rosalind's just really a first-class, elite, professional sales trainer. I haven't had an experience with her on the leadership side yet, but I'm sure she's just as good on leadership. But I can speak from the sales training side. She's absolutely fantastic. All right, well, let's go to the next question here, Rosalind. What do you like to do when you have free time?
Well, I did mention it in my bio. Right now, I am just so enthralled with my grandkids. I just had a new one. He's maybe less than a month old. And Eric, for some reason, we can only produce boys on my with my side of the family. So there's just boys. But I just so enjoy, I guess it's the teacher in me watching them just change week by week. Every time I come by, they change, they grow, they're speaking more. And I love teaching them. And I love, again, living my childhood through them. I'm into Hot Wheels right now. And I'm really into Hot Wheels right now, Eric, because I'm always looking at what's the latest model that
Right.
that I want to get my grandson. It's really
Yep.
an excuse for me. So that's one of the great things that I like to do. I love reading a lot. I love learning and growing, and I love documentaries. I love learning from other people's lives. What can I take away from this person's life to make my life better, or to share it with other people? So those are my interests.
Yeah, I remember when my son, he's 19 now, but when he was probably your grandson's age, he was really into Thomas the Train. So we had all the latest, just like the Hot Wheels. And like you, I love documentaries as well, and I love learning from others. Well, what's an offer that you would like to share with the audience?
Yes, and I'm very excited about this offer. I wrote this ebook maybe a couple of years ago, and it's an ebook that I am sure you business owners want to put on your shelf. You want to read it and tear this book up. It's Train Your Mind to Be Stronger Than Your Emotions. Train your mind to be stronger than your emotions. So again, it's about providing research-based strategies for people that they could use in their own at their own leisure, easy to use strategies so that they are taming their emotions so they're able to show up regularly in their business at their peak each and every day. Sometimes we need to change, do something about intense emotions like fear that want to crop up, or self doubt that wants to just really color our day. We need to be able to have tools to dissolve those emotions, the negative thinking. And what's nice about this is that when you're able to be in control of your thinking and your emotions, you can see the big picture. You can see the options that life has for you. You make better decisions because you have access to your thinking brain now once you can tame your emotions. So I really am excited about this ebook. I even think there's a couple of things in there that you don't hear about much as a strategy, but it makes the difference. And what I like about it is that you can use it at home in at your leisure. So I would please ask all of you to consider. I'm not gonna. I'm just waiting for you to ask for this this ebook. You'll love it.
And how can they get the ebook?
Well, two ways. You can simply text me 310-488-7591. One more time, 310-488-7591. All you have to write is mindset. And I know that you're referring to the book, Train Your Mind to Be Stronger Than Your Emotions. Or you can email me at rosalindhenderson1@gmail.com. Rosalind, Rosalind, Henderson, HenderSon1@gmail.com. Same thing. You can put mindset, and I'll readily send you the ebook.
Fantastic. Well, for everyone listening, take action right now. Send Rosalind a text or send her an email. Type the word mindset in that communication so she knows that you want a free copy of her ebook. And I want to encourage all of you to take action right now so you can get that content and enjoy Rosalind's powerful message through that book. Well, Rosalind, I want to thank you for being a great guest on the Continuous Sales Improvement Podcast. And is there any final thoughts you'd like to share with our listeners today?
I want everyone to know that Eric Lofholm has been instrumental to who I've become today. Really, you helped me find my inner salesperson that I didn't even know was there. And you helped me build a lot of confidence by identifying what you saw in me. And I want to give you a lot of credit for that. I want everybody to know that this is the man. This is the man. And anything that he has to offer, also run, not walk, run to it.
Fantastic. Well, Rosalind, I appreciate those kind words. And I always enjoy connecting with you, whether it's coaching call, a podcast like today, having you train my community. And you're adding tremendous value to the world. Well, that's going to wrap up another edition of the Continuous Sales Improvement Podcast. Thank you all for listening, and I look forward to connecting with you on a future episode. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like this episode, make sure and subscribe to get notified of new episodes each week. And check out our other great episodes by going to continuoussalesimprovement.com. That's continuoussalesimprovement.com. And while you're there, pick up Chapter 1 totally free of my new book, Continuous Sales Improvement. Just opt in when you go to the website. Until next time, keep on improving. I'll see you in the next episode.